Hello and welcome to the program. I am Luke Hunt and this is another podcast for The Diplomat. And with me is Tita Boot, who has done extraordinarily well on the Cambodian art scene as a fine arts photographer in a very difficult time as COVID is taking hold. For the younger artists and for the people who are trying to move ahead, it's really been a very difficult time. Tita, welcome to the program.
Thank you. How are you, Luke?
We're doing okay. Now, take me through your work. What inspires you?
Many things inspire me, but mainly it's this love to take photo of a person.
I remember asking you once, how many photographs do you take before you know you've got what
Yeah.
you want? And I think you
Mm.
responded, it's nearly always the first photograph.
For like a project when I begin a new project,
Yes.
something like this. You know what? I think it is actually funny because like every time I begin a new project, like a
Hmm.
new portrait series, or over the subjects, I always tend to take more photos than I intended to.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's the first few minutes, like the first 5 minutes, I already got the shot.
Right.
And it's when people are most like there is that strange
Tension.
tensions between us, like a connection, because like they don't really know me, I don't
Hmm.
really know them. And for me, I think portrait is such an intimate form of photography, because your subject has to be almost comfortable with you, and they have to really open themselves up to you. And even for me as the photographer, I have to kind of like make them feel comfortable, but
Hmm.
at the same time try to make myself feel comfortable so that I don't come off too tense. Yeah. um
Your work is quite sensual and very colourful, but it's not
mm,
overtly sexual. There's nothing really soft porny about it. There's no.
yeah, it's I mean it's funny that you say that, because like I had um I had a number of people who came to me, and
Mm.
actually maybe as jokingly, they say, "Oh, is it soft porn that you are doing?"
Right.
Um, for me it is not. For me, my work, where when I show a person, like either male or female, and when they are naked, I
Hmm.
like mostly in my work, it's a lot of skins, a lot of nothingness, like
Right.
to cover them. And it's
Do you have any harsh memories of growing up in Cambodia in the 1990s?
mm,
Or were you sheltered from?
no, my childhood was pretty okay. It was pretty good. I don't think I was affected by the war because I don't remember anything.
Hmm.
But no, but growing up in Cambodia in general, I've always felt so much like my heart always feel quite heavy, because like sometimes I would like go for a drive with my mom. She used to take me out a lot, on a drive around Riverside and stuff. And and I remember just thinking to myself, like, I'm so lucky to be in a car driving,
Hmm.
but the people outside, some of them are not living a really good
Mm.
condition of life.
Mm.
And I think that used to touch me very much. And
Poverty.
poverty, and seeing like kid the same age, like at that time I was 8 9 years old, and I see like kid the same age as me on the street begging. And I just thought that like life was pretty unfair. And still now, like it still affects me. Yeah, to just see people not like struggle with their life still. And especially during this COVID, I just wonder, like how can some people survive, doing what they do now, like not having enough privilege and not having that much luck.
How does that
Yeah.
impact on your work?
um how does that impact on my work? I think this what make me want to do. uh, I think this is why I love portrait photography, like to just take photo of people and to really see something, in their face. And that's why I do a lot of photo of people, um because of this, yeah, I don't know, this feeling, this connection that I have with strangers that I don't know. But somehow uh, I feel their vibration, like when I pass them, or
Hmm.
yeah, because
You were born in 1996, 2 years before the war ended. Cambodia was still pretty much a failed state. and the art scene back then was, I can vouch for that, was very much two-dimensional. It has slowly evolved, and there have been some success stories. How do you see the art scene now in Cambodia? To me, it seems to be a lot more refined, and it certainly has a brighter future than what people were talking about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. I think at the moment the art scene in Cambodia is flourishing. You know, there are
Right.
so many talented artists, um, older artists, you know, who's been in this for so long, or
Mhm.
the pioneer,
Mhm.
you know, who begin this sort of field. And then there are also emerging young artists, like myself. You know, we
Right.
are we are coming in and we are offering something that is a bit more modern, but you know, it is a statement to say that like we are the younger generation and this is how we perceive the world now, and this is what we wanted to offer to, you know, people
Sure.
through our art, through our form of expression. And in a few more years, I think the art scene will be exploding even more than it does now.
Right.
But for sure, the art scene right now in Cambodia is heading in the right direction. You know, there are
What are the contemporary issues confronting Cambodian artists and the subjects that they are working with?
contemporary issues.
Like male-female relations, race relations. I remember 20 years ago speaking at a panel, and all people wanted to hear was that a Khmer Rouge tribunal would happen.
Mm.
I spoke at another panel about 3 months ago, and the younger audience were like, "We're fed up with the Khmer Rouge tribunal. When is it going to end?"
Yeah.
At the age of 24, we're almost 2 years into the COVID
Mm.
era, right when you should be going ahead. That has brought things to a halt. How do you think the new reality will unfold for Cambodian artists post-COVID?
Post-COVID.
Where do you see your work going?
I think mm, I think my work will continue to go the way that it is going right now.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, with some adaptations to how the COVID has shaped it, our way of working and our
Right.
way of doing things.
Do you spend more time in the studio?
I mean, at the
Less time marketing?
moment, I mean, I still do a lot of marketing for myself, and the work that I did recently with this exhibition from disability to visibility, the new series, Organic Senses series.
Right. Okay. Take me back through that. Let's go through step by step.
Mm.
Disability to.
Yeah, from disability to visibility, it's I curated a new series
Mhm.
called Organic Senses. And my friend Miguel, who curated the exhibition, asked me to be a part of this. You know, at first I was hesitating
Mhm.
because I was like not sure what I could bring to the table. And he was saying to me that like perhaps I could do portrait of people who are disabled,
Right.
and to, you know, like shine a different light through my eyes.
This is where things have changed in Cambodia. To ask a blunt question, what
Mm.
type of disabilities?
So the one that I did, my subject that I chosen
Mhm.
specifically are one, she is a dancer, like a
Mhm.
really good dancer from Epic Art, and I know her since I was 16.
Mhm.
She is unable to hear and to speak
Right.
since birth.
Right.
And the other one, the other subject that I did is Janpoon, who is quite a renowned artist here, painter
Right.
Janpoon, and he lost his right arm in a brick factory when he was 11 years old.
Why I ask that is this type of art form has been around for a while in Cambodia, but
Mhm.
like the Khmer Rouge tribunals, it was always focused on victims of landmines, or it was always
Yeah.
or always had that war edge about it. And I think what I'm
Mm.
driving at is Cambodia is moving away from that. It's
Yeah.
the war has been over since almost you were born,
Mm.
and the country is moving on.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Like for me personally, I think it is important to understand your roots and to know
Mm.
your history and to respect, you know, the terrible thing that happened to our, like my elder, you know, like the
Sure, your parents'
Cambodian.
generation
Yeah,
and
my
your
parents, my
grandparents.
grandparents'
It was a
generation
30-year
for
war.
sure. But like
Mm.
but like I think it is like right now at this time it's also important to move past this, you know, like this is a thing of the past. And I mean, of course one should always remember and understand the pain that we had all suffer and the indirect influence that this has caused, you know, us.
Mhm.
But it's also important to, you know, to like especially in your art, like if you are an artist, it's important to not just put the collective past in your work, but it's it's more about you, you know, like
Hmm.
how it is that you see the world now and how it is that the world is shaping you, like your current
Right.
society. So to offer something new, to offer something that is like, this is the future, this is the new hope.
Hmm. Politically, Cambodia it's a one-party state, quite
Mm.
authoritarian compared with previous years, particularly going back to before the election in 2018. How do you see the role of art when measured against politics?
I think art and politics go well hand in hand, despite its contrast, you know, and despite
Hmm.
it being on a different spectrum.
Right.
Yeah, so they complement each other. But I think the only thing I could say is that like art shouldn't be used as a tool, you know, to create a certain emotion in politics.
Right.
It should be perceived as something that is neutral, you know, it's just there.
Independent.
Independent, yeah, for sure. Like art can be there, you know, in the politics scene, but it shouldn't be something that push or pull.
Well, then there's the danger of art becoming propaganda.
For sure, you know.
And at that point, I would not never sell myself as an artist, but as a journalist, once you become a tool for that propaganda, or your
Yeah.
independence is gone and your credibility suffers as a result.
Exactly, and then you will start to feel like all your art should only be made for that one purpose, you know, which
Hmm.
is in a way kind of like defective to yourself.
Right.
Because now you're not producing art. Like the whole point of making art is to make other people around you happy, but it's also to feel that satisfaction inside you, you know,
Hmm.
knowing that you could produce something better and better each time. But if you focus your art into just, for me, especially in politics, I think it could be quite consuming for your.
Right. You spent quite a bit of time studying overseas, New York,
New York, yeah. I
L-
really enjoy it there.
London.
London as well, yeah. But I went to school for business and design management.
Right.
I didn't take photography. I wanted to when I was in high school,
Hmm.
but I was not sure if it was the right path for me, you know. I thought that photography was just something of a hobby, something that I would just continue to do for fun along my
Right.
serious job. But, you know, like upon coming back, I realized that like what I consider a serious job, it doesn't bring me fulfillment, it doesn't make me happy.
Sure.
And I think I think by going to, especially in New York, you know, where I get the opportunity to study amongst like really good students and
Well,
like
this
good
is what I wanted to ask you. What
professor
did you bring back from New York? What
from
did
New
you bring
York.
back from London?
I think it just, what do I bring back? Huh. Many things I bring back. Banters for once. But I do bring back this like, you know, in New York I learned a lot about myself and my work. Like when I was in London, I thought that I was top of the class, you know.
Right.
But when I went to New York, I realized, man, I am the bottom of the class. Cause like this student, they are so talented at what they are doing, and on top of that, they are researching and like learning and improving themselves every day. And so it's this work ethic that I kind of bring back, you know, with me. Where like right now, when I'm doing my work, I always try to push myself to make better photo,
Hmm.
you know, like than the last time I did it. Try to offer something new in my photo, not just the same lighting, not just the same emotion,
Right.
something new each time,
Sure.
if that makes
Well,
sense.
yeah, no, I mean, it's evident in your exhibitions. I mean,
Mm,
there are lots of portrait photographers around.
yeah.
Your work is different. It's bigger, it's bolder,
Mm,
flashier, it's sensual. How do you fit in, or do you not fit in? And you're
uh,
forcing the agenda at the ripe old age of 24.
I don't think I can compare myself to other portrait photographer. I mean, every photographer and every artist has their own style,
Hmm.
and I suppose perhaps my style of doing my work is more relatable to a lot of people, you know, because like I think when people look at my work, or what have been told, is that they feel like, you really capture that person, you know,
Right.
like as they are, you know, like I don't tend to over editing my photo.
Hmm.
Like the skin and the flesh, you know, I maintain its originality. Like,
Right. You're not just playing around with Photoshop as some people will want to
you
do.
know what? I actually don't work with Photoshop so much. I use Lightroom a lot
Hmm.
because I think it's more real. It's almost like with Lightroom, I feel like it's a similar process to editing your picture manually in the darkroom.
Right.
Yeah, you don't change or you don't add, you don't twist so much. You know, you maintain its authenticity.
Hmm.
but at the same time kind of like offer that filter as an artist
Right.
into it. For me, I like to create like more nostalgic for my work, so that's why there's a lot of grain in my work. You can
So
see.
there's also a lot of movement, a lot of motion in your work. It's not just sort of photograph, head and shoulder photographs of people sitting
Yeah.
down there. It's not like that at all.
There's definitely, you know, a process as to how I
Hmm.
take my photos. A lot of the time the subjects are staying quite still. Most of the time I just tell them like, be who you are, be
Hmm.
comfortable, show me what you want to show me, and show me what you're comfortable, you know.
Right.
And then throughout the session some people became more comfortable than others, and I mean, I take the photo, but it's also depend on my subjects too, you know.
Right.
And if my subject does not complement with me,
Hmm.
the photo doesn't always come out so nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need to focus on different segments of the market? Like, I know there are some Cambodian artists who refuse to sell anything for under 5,000 US dollars.
Mhm.
The idea that that would happen in Cambodia 20 years ago was just unfathomable. But
Yeah.
the market itself, I mean, artists need to eat, they need to live, they need to survive. How do
Mhm.
you get more money into the system? How do you get
Uh,
that attention? Corporate sponsorship, government sponsorship. ASEAN, the
mm,
Association of Southeast Asian Nations, has an enormous budget for the arts. But how do
yeah.
you access that as an independent?
Yeah. Definitely, I think to have more support from the government would really help push the art scene, you know.
Right.
Because I think like if artists feel like they could have this support from the government, they would feel more free to put their expressions on their canvas or on their photo, you know. But and to actually fully show how they feel
Hmm.
and what their art is. And I think now it can be for some artists, you know, like they hesitated to really show what it is that they want to show because there is not
Right.
enough support. And we also don't have enough platform here at the moment. Like we do have galleries and we do have like online exhibition that we can access.
Hmm.
You know, there's like talk and seminar and all of that. But
Do they really work, or is it more of a talk fest among artists?
I I don't know. I don't know if it works or not. I mean, like
It
there.
is new territory. This is all evolving with COVID, of course.
Mm, I think for sure, you know, like for like a lot of young artists, like who are still students,
Right.
who are not doing art as a career. I think this is something that really helped them so much.
Right. They're
Cause
getting access to people they probably
yeah,
would not have had access to before.
getting access, but then also feel like, oh, if I finish school and I want to do art,
Hmm.
I know that there is someone out there who's already doing it. You know, like they would feel more
Confidence.
confident, yeah, to go out and do it. Like
Right.
whereas before there is not that much of talk or seminar or platform,
Right.
and the younger artists feel a bit like, uh, you know, like I had some young artist who came to me, like he's a musician,
Hmm.
and he play in this metal band.
Right.
Yeah, like hard rock metal, you know. And
Yeah.
for Cambodia, it's
Hard
like,
rock metal band. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like for Cambodia, it's so new. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And even for the older generation, they like, what are you doing? Like, this is not music. This is just you screaming, you
Right.
know.
At what point did you decide to become a photographer? And what was there a moment that you decided you wanted to
Mm,
do art?
yeah, yeah. There was it was a really major turning point for me. So like for those who didn't know, when I came back from England from my university, I started a video game bar in Cambodia,
Hmm.
and the business was supported by my mom, of course, you know. And she supported me, and she thought that like you can, you know, give it a try and see if you like it or not. And I did, and I really loved the project that I did. But at one point, I was waking up in the morning, and I'm just like, this is not what I want. Like,
Right.
I don't want to be here standing behind the bar, serving drink and listening to people's story. Like, of course, it's
Right.
interesting, but I want to listen to their story in a different form, you know, in the form that I love. And and at that time, I was also doing photography on the side, but not for money. It was for friends, you know. They got some gig, and I take some photo for them, and they really love it, and I
Hmm.
love the photo. And then I got a gig. My first gig in Kampot was to do a photo for this couple
Hmm.
at Meraki, and I did it, and it was the first time I got paid, you know, for my photo.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I actually could do something like this. But you know, I was still hesitating. I was not sure if I should just leave my business, leave my partner
Mm.
to do all the business. And but then at one point, I woke up and I woke up at like I went through this period where I woke up so late, I didn't want to get out of bed. And so I was just sitting there, one morning, and I just cried my eye out. I'm like, is this like what I'm gonna be like in 30 years, like is this like where I want my life to be at? And then like a month after, I packed my bag, I moved to Phnom Penh. I messaged Milia Constantine.
Who is?
um, she's a model,
Mm-hmm.
and she's actually one of the model that I shot back in 2016. I didn't have any photo at that time because the photo got lost, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came back in 2018 to Phnom Penh, and I messaged her like, oh hey Millie, I'm coming back. Do you think you want to shoot sometime?
Right.
And
Started from there.
I started from there. I would say, yeah, she's the first person that kind of like, give me that, oh, confident that, oh, okay, I can shoot the portraits that I want to shoot. And I got my first job with the Clipper lighter. And
Okay.
I was pretty happy with that too. I'm like, oh, now I can also do product and I can do portrait.
Right.
So, just experimenting.
And then came the art.
And then came the art. I mean, I was doing photography back in London, like portrait photography for fun. And then I came here and I continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And like with time, I started to, and it's not just time; it's the people that I surround myself with. Like.
Now this brings us back to another point. Is
Mm.
what did your parents say when you said you wanted to be a professional photographer?
Actually,
And an art photographer at that.
yeah. My parents are quite supportive actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom was the first person who got me my first camera.
Right.
And she saw that I like photography a lot, so she got me this. And I was just doing it as a hobby, taking
Mm-hmm.
photo here and there. And after my study, I came back, and when I decided to do photography, they actually support me very much.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she comes to my exhibition all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think you're an exception to the rule in Cambodia, where parental expectations and the sorts of jobs they would like their children to have don't necessarily take them into the arts?
Yeah, I think I am quite lucky to have parents who are very free-minded,
Mm-hmm.
like especially at their age, being Cambodians and growing up most of their life here in Cambodia. My parents are definitely very open-minded about what I do, and they are very supportive actually, not just quite. And I think it's a blessing for me, to have this kind of support. And definitely it is an exception to many parents. Like I had friends who parents do not support them very much when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to their decision in art, which is a shame, because some of them,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, some of them are so talented. Like when I was in high school, actually, I remember I got a friend who, an exceptional artist. She works with mixed media and collages, and she do paper cutting, and she is incredibly talented at 16,
Right.
17. But after now, she's doing something that she doesn't like because
Parents told
her
us so.
parents tell her like, the art is not for you. You will have no career in art.
Right.
And
And these are middle class kids too. It's not just the
yeah,
villagers.
I mean, like in the rich,
Yeah.
the middle class, the villager, like it's really similar mentality. They think that like art does not bring you money
Right.
because it's too close to your heart, I suppose.
Well, this goes back to what we were saying before in terms
Mm.
of Cambodia to have a flourishing art scene.
Mm.
It needs the middle classes and the ruling elites, for
Yeah.
want of a better term, to step up to the plate and actually buy art.
Mm.
And given cultural associations with displays of wealth,
Yeah.
do you see that improving? Are people buying more art now than perhaps they would have 5 years ago? Bearing in mind your career has still been relatively short. You've gone a long way.
I think so. At the moment, I got a lot of clients who are Cambodian,
Mhm.
and the service I'm offering to them are the freelance photography. But in terms of my art, um, the major clientele I have are still a foreigner.
Right. Whereabouts?
Uh, French,
Mhm.
English, American.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for sure, like there needs to be more support from the middle class and the elite to buy art,
Hmm.
and to I think for some people, like they hesitate to buy art because they don't see it as an investment,
Right.
or they don't see that like, okay, I buy art, it's just gonna hang on my wall, like what's the point,
Sure.
and I think if you can make them see that like, yo,
The value.
yeah, there is more value to art than just it being on
Including
the
the,
wall.
it's a dirty word, but including the financial gains.
It is, yeah. I mean, for some people, they buy it and they reinvest the art into something,
Sure.
I got one client who's buying my art and stocking it up now just so that, like, in the future, he feel
Oh,
like the
well.
value will increase.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You have a future.
I
It is
hope
bright.
so. I hope so. I mean, I see myself continue to do what I do right now.
Do
I
you
would love for my work to be of a larger scale,
hmm
to be seen and touch more people than it already does now. And definitely, I would love to give more impacts and more depth to my work.
Right. And do you see yourself travelling, hopefully exhibiting back in London and New York where you first cut your.
Yeah, I would love to actually. I made some plan to travel to the US this year,
Hmm.
and I made some plan to visit some galleries. So
Right.
I don't know. Let's see. Like I haven't keep in touch with anyone yet, but
Right.
let's see how it goes. Like I am a believer that like the right thing will happen at the right time if you put in your effort, and like everyone has their own place and have their own time.
Okay.
You just have to work hard to believe in what you do, and to just keep being who you are and do what you do, and things will happen around you. Yeah, it's like the law of attraction, like think positive, good thing happen. If that makes sense.
It does indeed. And on that note, Tita But, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Luke.